Good morning. It is Tuesday, longest week ever. It seems like I had to go to Dunkin' this morning. Like literally, I could have dozed off in the car on the way to work, which is probably not a good sign because we're not even to September. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get some sleep this weekend. It's getting back into 13 minutes. It's a super struggle. So with that said, we're finally getting done with a lot of that beginning of the year stuff that I really don't like. I don't like, not that I don't like getting to know the kids, but I don't like the contrived getting to know activities at the beginning of the year. I don't like that awkward silence because they're not really sure if you're joking or not, or if they're supposed to talk or they aren't supposed to talk, whatever. But hopefully we're getting out of that time and we're moving into at least some content, which I think pushes us into more of a state of natural school expectations and comfortability, if that's a word. I did enjoy driving to school this morning and pulled up to a stoplight, and a bunch of my seniors from journalism were in a car and they all started screaming at me, so that did kind of crack me up. Anyway, with that said, Tuesday, my junior honors, so I worked a little bit on their notebook last night. I made a little video and sent it to them. I'm sure they love that, about how to set it up. So this second tab in our composition notebook is for how to read literature like a professor. So they have to create a table of contents. You'll notice that we are not reading every single chapter. And then nothing tricky here. They just write the chapter up at the top. What we're gonna do is go back and maybe Thursday, because I'm not gonna be here Thursday. Maybe Thursday, I'll have them go back and do just a couple quick rate questions about each chapter. Now, they should be, getting to business on the annotations. You can see, here's my card. Those are, after I'm done rereading the chapter, like I read today's chapter last night, then I write my 3 quick writes on an index card and stick it in the book. So if I ever drop my books, there's chaos. Anyway, so they could go back and pick up the couple of chapters that we haven't done yet. But my thought for the notebook, to bring that to conclusion, is their book is annotated. They've got a couple key points in there that we discuss for the chapter, and then as we're reading, they can go back to each one of those chapters and cite, hey, the Scarlet Letter is evidence of this on page blah, 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 or whatever. So that's kind of my goal. If I was really coordinated with our AP Lit teacher, this would probably be a really great tool for them next year, but so far I'm happy with kind of the way it's taking form. There's 3 other tabs. One is called Literary Devices, which is exactly what you think. One is called Literary Periods. So as we start each period or end each period, we will either at the beginning or inductively at the end come up with a list of kind of what we've learned from that time period. And then really half the notebook is major works, literary notes, so whatever the major works are for that we're reading this year. So our anchor novels and their independent novels. I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, so we're starting off with getting that going, getting our notebook in action. We set it up the other day, but we're gonna write in today. Woohoo! The other thing we're doing is we're getting through Native American stories. So yesterday we looked at some of the criteria and the traits of Native American stories, a little bit about how they actually came to be written down. And today we're going to look at the creation stories. Tomorrow will be trickster stories, and then we'll kind of move into some Plymouth Plantations types of pieces, Bradstreet, etc. But we're going to do that today, so that will be their activity. They've got 2 stories to read, which I will give them a choice on whether they want to read it silently or in a group. Maybe I'll put them in small groups so they have to talk to each other, because we have that awkward beginning of the year silence. And then we'll come back together to touch base on the questions. So that's junior honors. I feel like the pace needs to get into a rhythm right now. It's not. Sophomore honors is actually doing okay. So we do that. I think I told you that someone in my department had developed this ACT, SAT part with Bell Work, so they do what they're supposed to do. So they're on day 2 of that. It's pretty self-run. And then we're working on, I guess, acceptance and empathy. It's kind of an introduction we do to world literature. We created basically this whole year of literature to address what we thought was a lack of empathy for others that are different from us. So in Google Classroom, there's a couple small little, like a YouTube video, a short article, a couple things like this. There's 4 things that they have to read or listen to. So I told them, bring your earbuds. I don't know. I'll kind of leave it up to them on whether they want to do it together as a group or individually. I'm going to guess they're going to pick individually, which is 100% fine for me because I could do a little grading. And then what they're doing tonight is they have to write a paragraph about taking what they've learned about acceptance from these different pieces and applying it to their summer reading novel. And then they have to post it to turn it in, which will be our first woohoo post to turn it in. So that's sophomore honors. Journalism, banner day yesterday. My group is hilarious. So today we're working on interviewing skills and interviewing each other, and our goal is to update the staff page before Friday, which doesn't sound maybe like it's a lot, but it'll be a lot for us. So that was fun. We got a good day on that. That leaves me with my English 1 people. Let's see, we are just diagnostic everything. So we tried our diagnostic no writing test the other day. I'll be honest, I didn't look at the results yet. I'm gonna do that today during lunch. So they took that seemed to work okay. They said it worked okay. I'll be curious to see how the actual testing of it is. So they took that. And then today we are working on character. So yesterday we talked about why you should make text to self connections, why that should naturally happen, why an author wants that to happen, how it enriches the reading experience. Today we're going to talk about characters because we had ended yesterday by having them write a reflection where they had to talk about which character in their summer reading they felt a connection to or had experienced something similar, etc., etc. So that was last night's or end of the period writing. And then today we are going over the elements of characterization, and we teach them that mnemonic device steals. So what a character says, what a character thinks, effects on other characters, characters' actions, characters' looks, character speech. What others say? Yeah. So they're going to get a little short PowerPoint, and then they're going to fill out a chart, and they have to. Here's the tricky thing about that book is not because it's a graphic novel, because you probably know I'm a fan of graphic novels, but because it's very episodal in the way that it's set up, and there's not a lot of really rich text. You can't do a full analysis of a character. So they basically are going to look for the traits, but they can use different characters. So I found this trait in this book, or in this story on this page, I found this trait. So they're not analyzing one character. But they have a little chart that they're going to do. And then they're, I guess, going to turn that in. And hopefully that will go well. Technology is a struggle for the freshmen. It always is. New to the school. Some kids new to the iPad, which, like, mind-blowing. But a lot of them came from public schools, had Chromebooks, which is cool. Like, it's many a day I wish we had a Chromebook, but it all works out. So that's kind of our day for Tuesday. I'm going to drink my coffee because I went running this morning and I just forgot to make the coffee and I had to go. So, all right, good luck to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.